Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Guy Lewis, and welcome to the February 2023 episode of the Business Lincolnshire live show. For the eagle-eyed among you, you will have noticed a change. Richard Moore started these live shows in April 2021 to engage with businesses across Greater Lincolnshire and Rutland about topics that are affecting them, answer questions, and share the support that is available to you as business owners. I'd like to thank Richard for his help, handing over the baton and easing into hosting these shows now and in the foreseeable future. So how to get involved, go to the live chat. Remember, if you want to engage us, send us a message live. We'll pick them up and I'll try and ask our panelists. So today, the show is about, we're talking about the Go Digital 23 digital conference that's being held in Lincolnshire next week. And the conference is themed Customer of the Future. And I'm pleased to say we have two digital experts today with us to share information on the conference and other digital themed activities happening in the area. We are joined by David Regler and Zoe King. So David is the Business Lincolnshire's Digital Sector Growth Manager, who will share more details of the conference. Things like who's speaking, what sort of workshops are happening, who's going to be there, what other activities and what other advice are around, and also how to register. David, who uses Mosaic as base, will also share details on some of the activities that are happening in Mosaic. And we're also joined by Zoe King. Zoe is Director of Epics Media and part of the steering group leading the Mosaic digital community in Greater Lincolnshire. Joe will say how our community is growing and speak about future again around that digital sector being held at both at the Mosaic Digital in Lincoln and also the wider Greater Lincolnshire events. So it's going to be an action-packed show. I'm going to ask David to join me initially. I hope to bring him in. Yeah, bring David in. Afternoon, David. I just wondered if you want to introduce yourself, give us some background to what you do.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Guy. So I started in this role. Actually, it was around May, June last year. And my background prior to that is I've kind of worked in the tech and digital sector for far too long, probably like 30 odd years. First half of my career was working mainly in commercial and kind of tech support roles within a couple of software and tech businesses, one of which was located in Lincolnshire. Then in 2005, I set up a small consultancy working with digital tech businesses. And that's really been the bulk of my work in the last 17 years, mainly focusing on support with strategy and business development initiatives. And as I say, came on board really back in sort of June last year with a remit of helping support the sector. So that's both the sort of digital sector in Lincolnshire, Greater Lincolnshire, Rutland, but also how the sector can support non-digital businesses to adopt more technologies. And the other side has really been working with the team at Mosaic, which is the digital hub based in the centre of Lincoln, and working with that team around how can they more widely engage with the digital sector across the county.
Oh, excellent. So what we're talking about today is the Go Digital 23 conference. Can you tell me some more about that, David?
Okay, sure. So this is going to be the fourth digital conference that's been run. The first one was back in 2018. The idea of Go Digital is to bring together sort of digital businesses and the wider business community across Greater Lincolnshire, Rutland, really to talk about and discuss what's happening in the digital sector, kind of what technologies are people adopting. And we generally have a theme around the event. So previous themes have been around things like digital transformation. There was an event that was an online event just during COVID in 2020, and that was looking at building resilience within businesses using digital tools. And this event is around, as you said, customer of the future. So when we planned this event last year, we sort of thought forward around what are the challenges going to be for businesses in Lincolnshire at this time. Clearly, it's a bit of a challenging trading conditions for a lot of businesses. So we thought we'd look at a topic which a lot of SMEs can understand in terms of investment in digital. So, how do you win more customers? How do you serve customers better? And how do you retain more customers is something that a lot of SMEs are, like very focused on. And so that's really how we came up with the theme. Broadly, there's a few elements to the digital conference which I guess we can break down and talk about. But the idea, the way I kind of explain this is we've got an amazing keynote speaker who's going to give us some insight and some, I guess, a future vision of what's happening broadly around digital trends and how they affect customers. But then we also want to bring that down to practical level for businesses so they can learn something they can implement. And we do that through a panel discussion. And then also we've got a number of workshops delivered by sort of local Lincolnshire digital experts. And so the idea is there's a bit of inspiration, there's a bit of learning of what's happening and what's new, but then there's also some practical takeaways that any business of any size can come away from the conference with.
That's a good overview, David. So you mentioned there about panel discussions. So what sort of topics are likely to be included in panel discussions?
Okay, so the panel is going to be hosted by the host of the day is Katrina Pierce, who quite a lot of people who listen here may have come across. She's kind of recognised as the voice of the Federation of Small Business in Lincolnshire, so very much focused on those small businesses in this area. So she's going to be hosting the panel. The panel consists of 3 businesses, and we've tried to aim it at a cross-section of businesses that probably represent the type of businesses that attend the conference. So one of the businesses we have is in the hospitality sector. It's a Japanese fusion restaurant called Cognite. We will be talking to Zara and Ellie Pickles, who are the co-founders of that business. And they'll be talking a little bit about how they're using technology. It's a relatively new business. It started during COVID. It's about 18 months old. And they very much have harnessed the cutting edge of social media and technology to make that business successful. So we'll hear a bit about that from a relative startup kind of business. We'll also be talking to Wendy Clarkson, who's the MD of Fizco. Fizco, for those that are not aware, it's kind of a business service. So they create installations and Christmas-themed installations in things like shopping centres and corporate customers. And they're very much using technology to help their customers visualise what the final installation is going to be, and the installations they put together are aimed at engaging more on things like digital channels. So very much about how you can use technology to win more customers, and how that process of engaging and winning customers is becoming much more digitized. So there's a lot of insights Wendy will have around that. And then we're also going to be talking to a digital technology business based in Lincolnshire called StreetsHeaver. And we'll be speaking to Ben Heaver, who's the managing director there. And Ben will tell us a bit about, so coming to this from a technology business, he'll kind of share with us how they're investing in technology to help them better serve their customers. So this is very much about improving the way that you do business, improving the way that you deliver on the service that you offer to customers using digital technology to both retain and also serve better. So it's kind of, we're trying to make it not just focused on acquisition and digital marketing, but very much about how do you keep more customers, how do you get them to come back, and actually that mix of a bit of hospitality, a bit of business service, and actually digital business is actually representative of the type of businesses that are coming to the event. So we're really hoping that everyone will be able to see something in that panel discussion and come away with something that applies to their business.
Yeah, so a mixture of digital tech companies, but also companies in different sectors that are using digitech in a real sort of advantageous way.
Yeah, and that's an important thing, that although it's a Go Digital conference and it's framed as digital content, it's very much aimed at every business. So we're not going to be bombarding people with technical terms. It's very much about, from a business perspective, how you're using digital technology.
Oh, excellent. You mentioned the keynote speaker. Who's keenly on this one?
So it's really great that we've got Christina Criddle, who's going to be our keynote speaker. And Christina, she's currently the technology reporter for the Financial Times. So she's very much coming at this from that business and tech background. Prior to that, she was a technology reporter for the BBC. She produced programs on things like Instagram, very much seen as understanding what's coming down the line. So might be telling us a bit about some of the things like the metaverse, but it's kind of obviously it's down for her to tell us what she's doing. So I don't really have don't want to lead on too much on kind of what the topic is. But yeah, we've asked Christina to talk because she gives us that mix of reporting and seeing what's happening very much from a business perspective, working with the Financial Times, but then also she's got that kind of technology background. So perfect blend for us, and someone that we haven't had speaking at a pleased that she's going to be our keynote speaker.
Excellent. Sounds like so. Christine doing is the keynote. You've got your groups doing the panel discussions, and you've got masterclasses going as well.
Yeah, that's right. So we during the conference we're going to have 4 digital companies that are going to be delivering masterclasses, and there'll be 3 opportunities to break out from the conference and attend one of those masterclasses. So the idea is you get to pick to attend 3 masterclasses out of 4 on offer. And the themes we're using are very much tied into customers, and it's very much about sort of giving people some practical tips that they can take away. I can run through the workshops so you can get a flavour for what's there. They will be listed on the Eventbrite page, so people can kind of find out. But in no particular order, we've got Dan Westlake from Cursor, who's going to be delivering a workshop on self-service. So the workshop's called Empowering Customers for Business Growth, very much about the power of self-service. So when we talk about self-service, we talk about the fact that people are becoming more used to using online tools to be able to buy things, to repeat order, to book things. I mean, the pandemic's changed the way that we all book a table in a restaurant now. So that's kind of moved, and Dan will be giving a perspective on how that's happening, and also sharing some sort of practical tips and also some sort of affordable tools that people can play with. So again, very much pitched at the level that any business of any size could come away with some ideas that they can implement. We've also got Will King from Epix Media, who's going to be presenting a workshop on video. It's called Video for the Whole Funnel and Beyond. And Will's perspective is sharing in terms of the growing importance of video, and helping people figure out why and how they can use video, and then come away with some ideas of how they can plan that for their business. So again, we're hoping these are all going to be kind of very engaging, very accessible, and also something that people can come away with some real kind of insights that they can implement in the business. Jay Forrester from Custodia UK is also going to be delivering. Jay's delivering a topic on customer data. So it's called creating trust with data management. And data is one of those subjects that can be a bit, a little bit dry. And we're hoping Jay's going to kind of bring some really interesting perspectives on that. But again, if you think about how customers engage with businesses digitally, how businesses treat customer data and how they deal with privacy and how they manage and make sure that data is secure is actually a real key element in building trust with your customers. So it's a topic that maybe doesn't get as much attention because from some of the ones that are a little bit more kind of a bit more exciting, but actually it's a really foundational part of every business. So Jay's going to be taking people through that, and then helping them understand that whole area of customer data and how you can really use it to build trust with your customers. And then the last workshop is very much around kind of retention and loyalty. So we have Emma Darbyshire, who works with an e-commerce agency called Ecom1, and she's going to be delivering a workshop called Retention Through Recession, the importance of building loyalty with your brand. And that's going to be very much about how do you re-engage with your customers and how do you build kind of loyalty programs. So there's going to be stuff in there around email marketing, but there's also going to be stuff around kind of loyalty programs and campaigns. So yeah, very much which we try to cover quite a wide area that's applicable, whether you're a sort of business consumer, retail hospitality business, or whether you're a business service company or manufacturer. We very much try to cover an area that everybody can see something in each of those workshops that they can come to.
Yeah, well, I've registered and I've booked onto a couple, so I'm looking forward to it. I think they'll be great. When I say that, I mean I'm at the conference there because I work with CDI Alliance and we provide the digital support section to the business and support program. I guess there are other advisors going to be there as well.
Yeah, definitely. So alongside our attendees, we will also have sort of experts in the room, if that's the best way of explaining it. So there'll be some sessions where we break between the workshops and between the speakers and panel, and we have a kind of a networking area, and that's where there's an opportunity for you to engage with and ask your questions. If you've got a burning question about some kind of digital technology, you'll be able to ask our experts. So the experts will be wearing a different coloured lanyard, so they'll be quite easy to spot. During the program, we'll make sure they're highlighted to you. They will include the panel and also the workshop leaders, but there'll also be some experts from the University of Lincoln. There'll be people from Business Lincolnshire and CDI, such as yourself, and also from the Growth Hub. So it's very much about making those people available. They're there for you to ask your questions to, and we'll kind of blend that in with the general networking. So it's it's something that's going to be quite informal, but hopefully of a lot of value to businesses.
That sounds excellent. So what sort of businesses are already registered? I guess you've got some good interest already.
Yeah, well, actually, we're very, very much almost sold out in terms of the event. I think the event's likely close for tickets on Thursday. It feels like we're going to hit our numbers by then, and you'll be looking at around about 100 businesses sort of registered by Thursday. So I think if you certainly by lunchtime, no later than 2 p.m. on Thursday, I suggest kind of getting onto the Eventbrite page and registering. In terms of the type of businesses, it's very, very broad, as I've already mentioned. We've got people from the agricultural sector. We've got businesses from retail, hospitality, business service, and manufacturing. There's also digital sort of creative businesses. About just under a third at the moment come from that kind of digital creative. So it's definitely 2/3 are non-digital businesses, and probably the split from the data I've seen so far is about 75%, around 2/3 are B2B, and then a third are kind of business to consumer. So it's kind of that. It's probably what you would expect from the type of businesses engaged with Business Lincolnshire. The other thing I would say is it's open to, you don't have to be a limited company, so it's open to sole traders, it's open to partnerships, it's actually open to charities as well, and we've got a number of charities already registered. So very much from their point of view, like the terminology of customers might not necessarily be the terminology they use. Charities are using digital channels more often than not to both engage with potential sort of donors and supporters of their charity, but also with things like their beneficiaries and the people that use their services. So, yeah, very, very much a broad section.
I was going to ask you, so who would benefit? But I think going through that list, you've sort of said it's almost at every stage of the business. So it's sort of startups right through to very established scaling up businesses. Whether they're sole traders, whether it's part of a social enterprise, limited company, and whether they're in the sector, the digital sector, or any sector, all would benefit from the conference.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the idea is it's that bringing together of the kind of the digital minds, if you like, with businesses, and so just beyond the actual program of the conference, I think just the networking opportunities is probably going to bring up some good opportunities for businesses to look at ways of working together.
Sure. I'm going to put a banner up now. So that's the Go Digital 23 conference on Wednesday, 8th of March at District Rock University. So I'll take that down again because I don't want to confuse with too much stuff. So how do you register for the event, David?
So there's an Eventbrite page, which if you go onto the Business Lincolnshire website, search for Go Digital 23, then you'll get straight to it. But also, if you follow Business Lincolnshire, and you'll be able to go onto their Eventbrite page and you'll see it. It's fully funded, so there's no cost for businesses that are eligible and attending. A couple of things I would say, apart from I've already mentioned that it's likely to be sold out by later on this week, and definitely from talking to the event team, we're probably going to have to close off registrations by Thursday, let's say 2 p.m. If I would suggest is a deadline. The other thing I would say in terms of attending is that obviously it's at BGU's conference centre. There is sort of limited parking, but we are making available. There's parking all around within like a 10 or so minutes walk. So it's one of those ones where it's quite easy to get to, and as a venue, it's something that you can park on site, but you need to get there early if you're going to bag a space.
Okay, get there early. Okay, so book on before Thursday. It's
get there,
like
book on before it closes and get there early. Yeah.
So plenty on during the day, during the morning. Lots of different masterclasses, panel discussions, keynote speakers, people attending in terms of advisors around there, and it sounds like it's going to get fully booked up. So getting in there quick, like you say. Thanks, David. I'm going to ask you to leave the room for a minit, and I'm going to introduce Zoe. But I want to bring you back, but just a bit just to talk about some more general things around Mosaic, which I think would be good. So thanks for the time being, David. I'll just chop you out for a second, as you do. And I'd like now to introduce Zoe King. She's the director of Epix Media and part of the steering group leading the Mosaic digital community in Greater Lincolnshire. So I'm gonna invite Zoe in. Hi, Zoe. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. I'm just going to change the background a little bit if I can. That looks a little bit better. I just wonder if you could just, tell us a bit more about you and what you do, and before we go into any more things around that sort of Mosaic stuff, which I'll ask more about.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. So I started Epix 12 years ago, just over 12 years ago, and we work across a range of kind of directly digital things, I suppose is the easiest way to put it. So we do web and digital marketing, of course, and even the brand and video work we do really heavily relies on digital tools and being put out there through digital methods as well. So needless to say, digital is at the heart of what we do. I've personally always been involved in the business community. So I was part with some other businesses in the private sector of running an early digital event called Links Tweet Meet. So that's easily going back 8 to 10 years. So whether people will remember it or not, but that was one of those really early events that happened in the city. So having the chance to be involved with building a proper community for our sector via Mosaic was really right up my street.
Got you. So you mentioned Mosaic. So what is Mosaic?
So Mosaic is Lincoln's digital hub. So it's a space that was created for digital businesses. It's opposite the drill hall in Lincoln, so it's nice and central, really easy to get to, loads of parking, and it has all of the things that you'd expect. So office space, hot desking, dedicated desks, meeting space, but it's also at the heart of our community. So David, who you've just been chatting with, he's our digital growth manager, and he's responsible for building our community through events and support. So having somebody to really kind of come in and knit everything together and not only create new events, but also support the other events that have been happening and that have started happening since the digital hub was created, has been really fantastic. And I think that is what will give it longevity in the long run as well.
Okay, so and as part of your intro, you said you're the sort of on the Mosaic steering group. I mean, what's the sort of history of that, and what does it do, and what's it trying to achieve?
So So the digital hub was really kind of born from the private sector. So the sector expressed a need for better digital community support and a place to bring us together, including a lack of kind of quality office space and hot desking and things like that. So with support from Business Lincolnshire and obviously a very large investment from Lincolnshire Co-op, Mosaic was built. So there is that commercial interest in it. It is office space, it is hot desking space. There is that side to it. But there is also a huge community element, which is very much driven by the private sector, which is why the steering group was created. So we're partly a sounding board for the co-op in their kind of strategic decisions for the hub as a kind of office space, but also the private sector individuals that are involved in that steering group are also there to help, I guess, kind of be an extra part to what David is doing in kind of building the community and making sure that effort isn't duplicated, that actually we all come together, we're all trying to do the same thing. So let's all kind of get on the same page and make sure we're all working towards the same great things, and everybody knows everything that is happening, which is better for the community at the end of the day.
Yeah, so it ties it all that in together and make sure there's not sort of duplication, and if you get duplication, you actually get a weakening of the offering, don't you? It's not as effective.
Yeah.
So Mosaic, the physical thing, Mosaic, the opposite the drill hall. What about the sort of the Mosaic digital community you mentioned? I guess that's wider.
Yeah. So it's not just about Mosaic tenants and people that take space in the building, and they are obviously a part of the community. And that is important, but it is about the entire Lincolnshire digital community, and connecting people both online and via physical events. So there were already some really active Slack groups. So Mosaic has its own for its tenants, but Digital Lincoln has quite an active Slack group as well. And again, just by us all working together, again, we've not had that duplication of stuff, because David could have come in and gone, well, we need this online platform, but actually kind of already got one. So it is about, bringing it all together. They are separate events, but again, we're all trying to do the same thing.
Okay, no, it sounds good. So, what sort of events do you do? What sort of events do you get involved with? I guess around the networking.
So most of the events provide quite informal networking. There are obviously other places you can go across the county if you want to do kind of more formal business networking. So a lot of the events are centred around topics and talks, or just having a relaxed drink and catching up with your peers. And also the events do a pretty good job of accommodating quite a broad spectrum of, I guess, technicality is the best way to put it, because of course our sector ranges from kind of digital marketeers all the way through to very, very specialist developers working in very specialist industries, and it's really important that actually we capture everybody in that. Digital is a huge topic that is very difficult to define as well. So making sure that we're kind of accommodating as broad a sector as possible was really important. So we've got Mosaic events, which are the ones that are really driven by David. So we've got Mosaic Connects, which is sponsored by Business Lincolnshire, and that's more informal networking. It gives a bit of a sector update at the same time. We also have Mosaic Talks, which is a lunchtime event about sharing knowledge and exploring topics that interest the digital community. And both of those have dates coming up in March and April. So I'm sure if you bring David back later, he can give people some exact dates on those things. And then we have other events that are run by the private sector. So they run by the private sector. I mean, they're usually run by a business or a small committee of people from the private sector. So these include events like Digital Drinks, which is a purely social event over drinks, again for digital businesses in the area. Digital Lincoln, which I mentioned before, and that's a practitioner-led event with topics across the technical spectrum. So again, talking digital marketing through to more in-depth technical topics. And we've also got the Azure User Group, which is obviously much more specialist, and that's an event run by Microsoft for anyone interested in the latest updates and information about the Azure platform. So really specific there. So I believe most of those should be on the Mosaic website for upcoming dates. But really importantly, it's not just about those things happen, but Mosaic support those events in lots of ways. So they've got their kind of Mosaic specific events, and then there's those wider community ones. And they support them in lots of ways. So providing a venue is obviously one way that Mosaic can really help, that we've got a space to have these events now, and that's nice and consistent for people. You know where it is, you know where to park, all of that stuff. But Mosaic can also help with the promotion to the wider community to get the word out as well, which is really helpful.
So using their sort of database, digital channels, their reach to the website, etc.
Yeah, well, and it works both ways, doesn't it? Because then the community helps to promote Mosaic events too.
Absolutely. Just last thing for just me and you, really. You talked about you're involved with the steering group for Mosaic, but you're also involved with Digital Lincoln. Is that's something more of a, I don't know, is that going through a reorganisation or?
Yes, yeah. So Digital Lincoln was one of the city's first sector-specific events. It's been running for quite a few years. It's got quite a bit of history in the area, and I'm in the process of helping the team there. So Digital Lincoln was kind of born by Daniel at Cursor, and so I'm in the process of helping him and some of the rest of the team there kind of establish a new committee. So it's a completely voluntary roles that will be upcoming. But if anybody has an interest in organising events or marketing events, and obviously a passion for the digital sector, then I would ask you to keep your eyes out for our formal announcement, which should land kind of late March time. So we'll have some new roles open, and we'd really love people to get involved.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to try and multitask here if I can, and bring David back in. Hopefully, we can all. Oh, I'm just going to move us around a little bit. I think no, I'm trying to get back to where I was. That's better. Hi. Yes. Thanks, David. Thanks for hanging on. I just wanted to really go back to focusing really on Mosaic. You know, whether it's the physical or whether it's the digital Greater Lincolnshire bit. I mean, what's tell us a bit more about the sort of the talks that go on. What sort of topics does that cover? You know, what would people be interested in? I don't know if I put that to David first. That might be a good start.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's fair to say that all of these activities are kind of rebooting from COVID. So Mosaic opened in November 2019. Great, loads of plans, lots going to happen, and then obviously we'll know kind of what came along in 2020. So, you know, there were some online events, but now we're obviously in a position where we put on physical events. So that Zoe's already explained about Mosaic Connect, which is very much about just bring together the sector inside and outside of Mosaic Hub and maybe update on some stuff that's happening. There's a lot of different programs and initiatives happening at the moment, so it can be quite difficult to track all those. So one of the things we want to do is just make sure everyone's aware of the opportunities that are out there. The Mosaic Talks is very much about sharing information and having a discussion around topics which are of interest to the sector. The topics itself may not necessarily be a tech or digital topic, but they're something the sector is very keen on. So, for example, the event we ran back in November on Mosaic Talks was a panel discussion, and it was looking at the topic of diversity within the digital sector. And that was something that we ran from the event. Was well attended, 30 plus attendees, and got a real conversation going. Mm-hmm. We decided that we wanted to use the Mosaic Talks theme, if you like, the event, as something that would bring in, you know, as wide as possible across Greater Lincolnshire. So from the next one, which is going to be on the 9th of March, we're actually going to start live streaming those events. So they're going to happen 4 times a year. We have got a slightly different format. We're going down the route of a lightning talk. So we've got 4 members from Mosaic who are actually based at the hub, who are going to be doing a 5-minute lightning talk on a particular topic. The kind of concept of lightning talks is very much about fast-paced information that brings some new ideas and then sparks a bit of a conversation in a topic. So there's 4 of those going to be happening. You just shared the Mosaic website. The Eventbrite's up, so you can book onto that. But also, we will be sharing how you can view those live streamed. Because as Zoe said before, you know, Mosaic's more than just simply a hub in Lincoln. It's about kind of connecting the sector. So we think for a lunchtime, you know, there's lots of great digital businesses all around the county that just couldn't afford to take time to come and see some talks. So again, we're gonna live stream those. And as I said, we've got 4 people. The Mosaic members who are going to be delivering those lightning talks is Mark Rhodes, who runs Mark Rhodes Marketing, Susie Hegg from Crafted Insight, software business based in the hub, and also Richard Hill, who's the MD of Econ1. We'll be drip feeding on social what the topics are, but they're coming out all the time. So what I would say is just keep an eye on that. But yeah, fast paced. If you're there in the room, then obviously there'll be a bit of networking wrapped around that. But if you just join us for the live stream, then hopefully there'll be some information there that will be quite insightful. And then we're going to continue that throughout the year and run some other themed events that might be panel discussions or might be more lightning talks. We'll mix up a bit as the year goes on.
Okay, and so while we're talking about events, obviously we showed that one with the lightning talks. You've actually got something on today as well. Another event on today, I think, haven't you?
That's the Digital Lincoln one that Zoe was talking about. So yeah, that's this evening. What time does that start? Is it 6:30, Zoe?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's that one.
That's the one.
It is.
Yeah. And I guess you can still book onto these. Okay, I guess you can still book onto these events.
Yeah, so Digital Lincoln is organised via its meetup page. So you just RSVP to say you're coming, completely free event, and there's pizza. So what more could you want?
Got you. So is this on the Mosaic events link as well?
Yeah, if you go onto the Mosaic, if you go on there, then that's on there. Plus the talks, and then the Connects event that so we talked about. I think it's planned for the 20th of April. That's not up there yet, but it will be soon. Okay, excellent.
I'm trying to get this to work, but I want it in that. I still always want it in that one, as you do. Okay, so we've got the we've talked about the talks. You've got the lightning talks. You've got the how does you talked about the Azure group and the digital drinks. They're again private, but they come through that make the Mosaic events list. Is that so? It's all the same place, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we're hosting an event that's open to the public, then it would be on the website. The only one slightly different is that if you're a member of Mosaic, which we're talking there about, you either have an office space here or you have a dedicated desk, or you may have taken up some of the day passes. So you can join Mosaic on a day pass just to use the hot desking area. If you're a member of Mosaic, you will get added to a Mosaic Slack for Mosaic members. And then there are some member-only events that happen, but they don't generally go on the website because people will find out about them through the Slack channel.
So you just touched on that, Dave. So there's a number of ways of being part of Mosaic. You've got the sort of Mosaic community, digital, which you may want to come in for the sort of virtual events. But you've also got things like you talked about day passes. You talked about. So how do you get there? How do you get involved with Mosaic?
So, as we spoke about, so Mosaic is a physical hub. It has a hot desking area and a lounge area, and then there are dedicated desks and office space there. So if you're in the digital community and you want to be able to use the space, then if you go onto the Mosaic website, there's a button where you can contact them. I think it says take a tour, and you can message the team here. And basically, what the day passes are that you can buy a pass to use so you can locate yourself here. You can use the lounge and hot desking area. It's open from 8:30 to 5:30, and you buy groups of 5 passes, and they last for 3 months. So I think if you bought 15 passes, it goes down to something like just less than £7 plus that for a day, which is actually compared to quite a few other communities. As a day pass to use the office space is actually quite accessible. So, and you could, as I said, you could
use it meeting spaces as well and things like that, can you?
So there is you could use it as well. You can, to be a day passer, then you were using the offices, but there are bookable meeting rooms as well, which you can book via the website. And the meeting rooms are actually open to any business. They don't have to be a digital business to use the meeting rooms.
Okay. So lots of facilities there available. So take the tour, I think, as you said then, did you?
Book a tour with Ben and the team. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, brilliant. And I suppose, thinking about that digital community, how do you get involved with that? Is it the same route through, or is there?
Yeah, so you can attend events. You can kind of commit what time you want to it. So you can just come as a delegate to events. A lot of them are free, so you can just register and turn up and get to know people. Digital Lincoln has its own Slack group as well. So if you go onto the Digital Lincoln website and register, you'll get added to the Slack group. and the email list and stuff as well. So as we kind of build out the committee, we'd really like to look to be better at promoting the events within the Slack community and stuff, not just Digital Lincoln as well. So hopefully you'll see more of that. So it kind of won't matter where you connect with the community. In theory, you should see it all open up to you, no matter kind of what entry point you come through. That's what we really want.
Okay. I was thinking of a Slack group. I was thinking, does that mean people don't work very hard? I don't know. I was just trying to work out the ways you can use different words in modern language. I think we've talked about how we get involved, how to get the I don't know, David, if you just want to sort of summarize Mosaic in a couple of sentences, and then we'll just do a quick recap on the conference that's happening next week, if that's okay.
Sure, no problem. So yeah, as Zoe said, so there's Mosaic as a physical hub building, which is run by Lincolnshire Co-op, and then there's the Mosaic community, which the reason that the name Mosaic was chosen was very much that it wanted to be connecting and pulling together the digital sector and community across the whole of the county. These are not necessarily just being the people located and co-located here. So beyond the actual hub, then there is a range of events that we're planning. And the thing I would say is that this is just the start of what we're looking to do. So we've got events that we've put together now. The aim is to actually to be able to bring in and make this relevant and help digital businesses connect across the whole of the county. And obviously, we appreciate that Lincolnshire is a large county, and there's a lot of travel time, which is why things like the live stream events and potentially maybe some online events might be some things that come down the line. So it's very much about creating a space where the community can come together, whether that's the physical space or whether it's through events located elsewhere.
Excellent. And again, just talking really about the show next week, the conference next week. I was just going to show a link that someone sent me. If I can find the right thing, just if you want to, that should give us the Eventbrite link. That's the Eventbrite you want to go to, but I'm sure you can search it from Business Lincolnshire on events, and it will come with the Go Digital 2023. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for. I'll try and get rid of that one now. Thanks for your time today, David. Thanks for your time today, Zoe, talking about the up and coming conference and also the sort of Mosaic, the physical Mosaic, the digital Greater Lincolnshire, and also how it's working with other things like Azure and digital drinks, which I quite like the idea. I might join you on that one myself. I just want to talk about the next show. So. Thanks. I hope you all find that interesting and exciting. That you'll, if you haven't already registered for the conference, that you will be shortly. We'll all be there, so it'd be nice to say hello. If you see us, we should be in different coloured lanyards or something. Should be quite easy to find. Don't forget you've got the Business Lincolnshire website for further information. That's www.businesslincolnshire.com. Thanks for attending today's show, and don't forget to keep your eyes open for the next live show. We've got a date of the 25th of April. I'll hopefully get you more details to you about topics we're discussing and who's going to be joining us. So thank you again, and hope to see you all at the conference. So thanks very much. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.